Hi XGN, I'm Darby McDevitt. I'm the lead writer of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. When I started writing Edward Kenway, I looked back at Haytham and Connor, his two descendants, and I wanted to create a character that was kind of had pieces of both of them. So to fill out this kind of Kenway family saga that we've talked about before. So I wanted to give him a little bit of Haytham's kind of quick wit and brutality, but a little bit of Connor's naive desire to dream big, to have grand dreams, maybe dreams that are too big to actually be realized. So I think that people who play Assassin's Creed 3 and 4 in one big kind of story arc will feel the kind of progression of a family. They'll feel the traits between all these guys. I started writing Edward just after I ended my work on Revelations, so he's been on my mind for almost 2 years, and I wanted to create a character who was also very much typical of what a pirate was like at the time. Pirates in this era were 80% from British, so the American colonies, or Ireland, Scotland, Wales, or England. They would have been in their 20s. They would have been sailors before they'd gone into piracy. So I wanted to create a character that was a very, very typical kind of pirate as well, but an atypical man, and a unique personality. Assassin's Creed 4 takes this idea of historical tourism, if you will. All the Assassin's Creed games go back to a different era and recreate the era, and then set these characters in that era as citizens of whatever era. We wanted to take this game a little bit further and take gameplay mechanics that would also be found at this time. So this is why we invested so heavily in a pirate theme, as well as Assassins and Templars, that conflict that we always have. We wanted to take this opportunity not only to bring a story to life and languages and cultures to life, but also the activities of what people would do at this time. So Edward has a lot of the abilities that you would find in Assassin's Creed 3. He can climb trees and man-made structures. He's not quite as good of a climber as Connor, so he can't climb like cliffs unless there are man-made handholds and things. So we limited him a little bit with respect to Connor, but he's got more climbing talent than Haytham. And then, of course, we've got a whole pirate loop in the game as well. So the Jackdaw is his boat, is Edward's boat, and there's a whole boarding system, getting loot, spending it, upgrading your ship, and that's all part of the pirate side of things. So there's a huge assassin story in this, and a pirate story, and the whole story of Assassin's Creed 4 is how these blend and conflict and and come together, and the tension that is created with that. Well, if you were one of the ones that didn't like the naval in AC3, you might want to give this a try again, because we've made it bigger and more robust, so with more tactical strategy and tactical options and a bigger loop. The missions in Assassin's Creed 3 were single missions, heavily scripted. This is an open world with trade routes and random interactions that can happen at sea. Sometimes you just come across the Spanish and the British fighting. So there's a lot more surprises in the open world. But also, of course, this is an Assassin's Creed game, and there are 3 cities, and there are a lot of jungles and other land maps, huge areas of open land. The game is still, the main story is still 60% on land, so you have no fear if you still want that core Assassin's Creed experience. There's tons of assassination contracts, tons of main story assassinations. you will still get that pure experience. And in fact, I feel like we've streamlined and tweaked the stealth and assassinations so that we've brought it back to the core elements. You know, we removed the brotherhood, so there's no like single shot kills and things like that, insta deaths, things like that. So the stealth is a bit harder and the assassinations are a bit harder. But thankfully, the reception with the naval in AC3 was very, very positive. There were people that didn't like it, but it was very positive. And we knew before AC3 came out that it would be good, and we wanted to build on it further, and that's what we did with this game. Well, the random encounters at sea is more of a, I mean, it's more systemic. So it's kind of like, well, I'll describe the battles. Sometimes you'll find massive ships fighting each other. If, for instance, you haven't upgraded your jackdaw very much, you might not be able to take on these massive man-o'-wars. You know, they are very, very powerful, and you will die in the beginning of the game if you try to take them on. What you might want to do is hang back and wait for them to damage each other, and then swoop in and do the last bit of damage, and then jump aboard and board their ship. But of course, if you do that, you also have to have the right amount of crew to actually take that ship over, and you might not have the strength to do that. So that's one way of encountering random encounters at the, I'm repeating myself. That's one way of finding random encounters at sea, is to just watch the two empires fight each other. There are also things like abandoned ships where you can go aboard and find everyone dead, and you don't know what happened, but you have a limited time before the boat sinks, so you have to get aboard, loot every body and chest before it blows up and get off, and you can find those kinds of things. And then if your wanted level is higher, there will be privateers, or what we call pirate hunters. They will start chasing you down like a wanted system, and they get more and more relentless, but you never know where they're going to come from, and you never know how strong they will be and what numbers they'll be in. So it's more of that we've created a. I don't want to sell it as random narrative encounters, but I want to sell it as we've created a system with convoys and royal convoys. They're massive ships that are followed by smaller ships, and if you can take them down, you can get an incredible amount of money as a reward. So it's more that the random encounters are all part of this large gameplay system, a living, breathing ocean. Also, like, the weather is completely unpredictable, so you might run into water spouts that damage your ship, or rogue waves that threaten to knock out your crew off, things like that. And this is all part of the big system. The thing that we're most excited about with the multiplayer this year is the Game Lab, which allows players for the first time to create their own game modes. And essentially it breaks down like this. You have over 200 parameters to tweak, anything from score to weapons used to time limits to types of gameplay mechanics that are available to the players. And we just want our avid fans to be able to design their own mode, upload that, open a server, let everyone come and try it out, and then see what happens. And I think that's one of the most amazing things about the multiplayer is that games are this beautiful, interactive art form. And by giving players the ability not just to play the end product, but to create the product, that's pretty amazing. And we've already had a lot of, I knew we have such amazing fans with the multiplayer, and the hardcore amazing players that are so good at it. I'm not even close to being good at that, the multiplayer mode. I just know that they're already dreaming up things, and they're having discussions on our forums about the game modes that they would like to create. On day one. So we're going to see what comes out of that, and we're going to, promote the best levels, the best game modes made by fans, and I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. So look forward to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It'll be out on current gen on October 31st. And then on day one with the next gen consoles, so the 24th for Xbox One, 29th for PlayStation 4. So look for it. Thanks for playing.
As long as empires generate wealth and riches, we will be there to bleed them dry.